NBA is it's a piece that I worked on. It's kind of it's a story reporting on one of the most bizarre, but one of the most interesting sporting spectacles that this country's ever seen. The real NBA, the National Basketball Association's players were on constant strike back in this day. Their players were constantly quitting basketball to pursue acting careers, and it was terrible. Basketball fans weren't getting what they wanted, and it looked like the sport was going to be lost on Americans forever until Gene Cheeseman and his business savvy to upstart this great league that looked like it was going to make fans forget about the National Basketball League and start having fans remember about his new Nerf Basketball League. And this piece will show you how it came up to such a meteoric rise and out of nowhere just burned to ashes.
With the NBA on a constant strike, basketball needed a new hero. That man was Wheeling native Glenn Cheeseman.
I'm a big basketball fan. Let me tell you, I didn't know what to do without it. So being a savvy businessman I am, I decided to take matters in my own hands. Told my wife Charlene, I'm going to start my own damn league. The Nerf League. I like Nerf basketball. First year was tough, seeing no one believed me. Thought it was a joke. I ended up getting contracts with 6 cities. That's 6. I can count them on 2 hands. The league was born. Wheeling. That's where I'm born and raised. My homeland. Place for my Nerf team, the Wheeling Wild Things. Let me tell you something right now. There's no Nerf League, or no Wheeling Wild Things, without that man Chad Riedel.
Chad changed the game. Before him, it was just dunk and layup after layup after layup, and it was getting a little boring down low. Then Chad decided to utilize his range, and let me tell you, from my standpoint on the baseline, it was a thing of beauty to watch.
I mean, I don't know why I started to shoot outside. Maybe it was because I didn't want my afro at the time to get all messed up with all those big trees and big oafs down low, but it just made sense to me. In school I was always the best at rolling up the piece of paper in my hand and toss it in the trash can. I could do it from pretty much any distance, so I looked at the hoop and I said, you know what? That's just my trash can.
God, that man was lights out. I remember his one game against Toronto. We were down 25 points. A minute left. I say to myself, Glenn, you gotta get your butt out of here, man. We're done. Gotta cut your losses. This one's more than cooked on turkey on Thanksgiving dinner. Wife Charlene calls me like 50 seconds later, says, we won that game. I said, what the hell do you mean we won that game? She says, that man Chad Riedel scored 30 points, 45 seconds. Took the game over. Put him on his back. Won the game. Walked off, didn't even shake hands. I said, I like that. I knew we had something special, man.
That game against Toronto absolutely solidified him as not only the best in the Nerf League, but one of the best in the history of basketball. To me, today, at this point in time, it still goes Riedel, Jordan, then LeBron. And that's 1, 2, 3.
Chad Riedel, year after year is the talk of the league. He's the best player out there. Ha! You're out of your mind if you think of that. I think Grant Schwab was the best player in the league. Great team player, better than Chad Riedel.
Grant was just an unlikable guy. He was terrible on the court, and he was even worse to us media. He never did interviews. He never signed autographs for kids. It was just embarrassing, and he was just awful. I'm sounding all. I'll just say it. I hated him.
Grant Schwab, I'll tell you something there. He's just a bully down low. Clown. Nothing.
I love getting in their heads. I knew they couldn't stop me, and I knew a certain someone wouldn't bring it down.
I coached Grant Swell for his entire career, and you hear about Chad Riedel's game in Toronto, big whoop-de-doo. But I'll tell you this, the real amazing story was when us, Fort Wayne, played Kalamazoo. Never forget it. Never forget this performance Grant Schwabel brought into us. 55 blocks in the first quarter. In the first quarter, just up and left the game. Do I support it? Damn right I support it.
Just walked off the court. 55 blocks in the first quarter shatters the record for the league. And he just walked off the court. Fort Wayne lost the game. 3 quarters without their superstar, and they collapsed. Kalamazoo came back and won. It was unbelievable, and it was definitely something I'll never forget, and one of the more shocking things I've ever seen in all of sports.
The league was thriving, and all seemed to be going well until Glenn Cheeseman went down and decided to bring the whole league with him.
Early reports out of Wheeling, West Virginia indicate that the Wheeling Wild Things owner, Glenn Cheeseman, is being indicted and arrested under fraud and embezzlement.
And in the end, it was all just a facade. The league, whatever profit it was turning, it wasn't showing up. Cheeseman was cooking the books, he was embezzling, and unfortunately, the man that started this league and acted as commissioner as well as owner to his own team inevitably ended it. He couldn't pay his players on Wheeling. He couldn't circulate the money and share it amongst the other owners and teams throughout the league. The commissioner of the whole entire league, as well as the owner of the original team in the league, was corrupt. And it corrupted the league, and I hate to say it, and I still miss it dearly, but Cheeseman ruined everything.
A call from a buddy of mine. Buddy, good friend of mine, the owner, Jake Lowell. Talks to me, he goes, "Hey man, it's Jake. Hate to break this to you, but the league's done. It's over. It's crumbled, collapsed." And I just remember hanging up and thinking to myself, just thinking, wow, Cheeseman really ruined a good thing.
Do you feel any regrets at all about what you did to this league?
Do I regret it? Ask my model wife, Charlene. My 2-story RV. Hundreds of dollars sitting in my bank account. I don't regret it. Not one bit. At the end of the day, this is a scheme for me to make some extra money, entertain myself. Don't blame me for having the guts and the skill to pull this off.